Okay, so we're talking about a certain genetic line here. We're not talking just everybody for the awakened. We're talking about specific genetics that have been woken up, or being woken up, which have a personality which is wanting to take control, really, control of your life direction, control of your life purpose. This is what the awakening is all about. And this is the Nordic bloodline. Now I'm going to confuse a lot of people because they think Nordic means the Norse. Well, that's just part of the story, because this Nordic race also planted souls in the South American culture, the Australian culture, the New Zealand culture, let's say the Egyptian culture, the Celtic culture, the Nordic culture, Norse culture, I should say. It's been placed all over the world, and it's a specific DNA genetic coding. It's been tampered with, it's been changed, it's been altered, and it is a certain people that will wake up one day, and when the button's pressed, and will respond differently to mankind, because the coding means that you are pulling from a different consciousness. You're pulling from a different oversoul to the human race. But the problem is, you're still part of the human race. You're still part of that coding. You're still part of the Anunnaki coding, but you've also got this Nordic coding. So it's a bit like a Trojan horse, really. And this is what I'm going on about as far as the awakening is concerned. So these souls need some direction, some understanding, some comprehension of what has been going on to them. Quite often there's been the reputed abduction gone on, night terrors, night hauntings as a child, vague recollections of other worlds, other planets, other peoples, an acceptance that there is a life after death. That goes without question, because the way that the genetic coding goes on, it's actually working beyond the human comprehension of what's going on here. There's a purpose here. There's a role, and this is what we're going to try and discover in these videos, what this role and what this purpose is for. Why are us Nordics here? Why all this tampering? Why all this adjustment? Why all this vagueness? Why are we having to deal with all the human fear? Why incarnate at all? Why can't we just be here? Why can't we change the pathway of destiny, so to speak, without actually being on the earth plane? What I understand is that you have to be on the earth plane to change it. But once you're on the earth plane, you can be a doorway or a portal to other dimensions. And this is what these races, these higher races, have realised, that you can use the human race as a doorway and as a portal, and you can influence these souls to influence other people to change the direction of certain pathways. And once you've incarnated, and it's very, very hard to actually incarnate on the earth plane, I understand there's quite a lot of, let's say, contracts to sign in order to be able to come on this planet. Once you're on here, the influences can actually begin. And it is all about having a walk-in. Most of you who are listening to this video, and I don't expect there to be a lot of people, I really don't expect a lot of people to listen to this video, but most of you who are listening are drawn to the idea of being awakened, and will have had a walk-in at some point in their life. Now, the Celts describe these as changelings, and it's effectively because you've got a dual DNA, and we're multiple personalities within ourselves, within our dimensions, at some point a walk-in occurs. And this is when the Nordic personality, the Nordic awareness, the Nordic being walks in. Now, how it walks in is it effectively wakes up. It's a stronger personality than the human personality that was in, and you begin to think differently, act differently. You get a bit of order in your life, you get a bit of change in your life, and so many people who are going through this awakening find that their lives are not as important as they were. A lot of life's things and life's, let's say, life's ideals have changed, life's purpose has changed, and it can happen overnight. We wake up overnight. That's what happens. We wake up overnight. I'm just trying to capture that balloon there. We wake up overnight. It is an awakening that happens overnight, literally. And it's a strange experience, because a lot of people will think they've gone bipolar because just the way that you are. Many people will think themselves lost, scared. There are suicides. There are all sorts of things that occur with somebody who wakes up. Now, not everybody is going to. Not everybody's going to make it. Not everybody is going to survive the awakening. And the purpose of these videos is a bit of a guidance for people that they're not alone. There are a lot of souls that are awakening at the minute, and it's all about, you've got an important role. Because you are going to be dealing with a group of people or peoples who you're going to influence, and the way that you think and the way that you feel and the way that you are is going to affect these people. And it has been sort of pre-planned that the people that are going to come into your life are going to be significant in some way, because they're going to influence other people who are going to influence other people, and the way of thinking and the way of acting is all going to change. So the Nordics who are not incarnate, the Nordics who have created the genetics and created the way that we think and we feel once we're wired to their vibration and wired to their oversoul mind, are very clever, because they know that we're going to work in the shadows, so to speak. We don't really need the egotistical Hollywood lifestyle, or the egotistical music career, or the fancy millionaire status. We don't need that. That's not the purpose of our life this time. Our purpose is to make a difference, to make a change, to get people to think differently and see life differently. It's a huge task, because there is so much ego out there. We are effectively in Sodom and Gomorrah now. We're basically on an earth plane which has been overridden by the ego, by the selfish separate ego, and the planet's in turmoil because it has to be changed, because it's going into a time of darkness when it's actually time of light. We really need to step up the ante here, so to speak, and we really need to start getting people to think differently, see differently, act differently, question everything, become less egotistical and more spiritual. And this is the role of the Nordics. This is just one thing. The agenda is a strange one, and it is very, very hard to determine exactly what the Nords want, what their purpose really is, what their end game really is. We only can assume that it's for the good or the betterment of mankind, though I feel that there is a little bit more to it than that. There's an ownership issue as well, because the earth plane is a commodity. It is like let's say a building site, or it is like a shopping centre, or it is like a house, or it is like a garage, or it is like something that it can be bought and sold. And I firmly believe that the Nordics are trying to re-establish themselves collectively on this planet and recover something that has been lost, because I think there has been a series of major battles on and around the earth plane over the last 200,000 years, and I think the means of incarnation has changed. I think the means of getting on this planet and being on this planet has changed, And this is why I feel we've had to go undercover, so to speak, get on this planet undetected, remain as undetected as we can for as long as we can. And I'm laughing at that because I'm barely undetected with the stuff I've been getting involved in, the cases that I've got involved in, the internet awareness that I have created with my blog, A Light in the Darkness, and the way that I'm sort of out there in the spotlight, so to speak, in the Australian psychic world. I'm barely undetected, but I think it's all to plan. I think the whole thing's to plan. You'll find that your life at one point will have completely gone askew. It will have completely changed direction. I know mine did when I was about 12 to 15. I didn't go in the direction that I thought I was going to go. It was almost like somebody had taken over. They decided that no, that's not the life path that you're having. That's not the script that it might have been written. That might have been written, but that is not what's going to happen to you. And that's when everything changed. And this is what we're going on about, or what I'm going on about, as far as the changeling and the awakening is concerned. When you awaken, your life path completely changes. And it's almost like somebody else is making the decisions for you, and you feel that they will be the wrong decisions, because you've got two souls in one. Basically, you've got two life paths in one. You've got two scripts in one, and it does get very confusing because there's always overlaps. And there's always this split decision that goes on in your mind, and the strongest personality is the Nordic personality out of the two, and it will always win in the end. The power to actually manifest is incredibly strong as one of the awakened, incredibly strong. All I say is be incredibly aware and careful of what you're manifesting, what you are thinking, because in the light of the power that your mind has, you could rain havoc, absolute havoc on this earth plane if you realized your full potential and your full power. The Nordic bloodline is an incredibly strong bloodline. It's an incredibly ancient bloodline, and really this is really all about getting the earth plane back on track. Now, if you let these powers be overcome by chaos, or controlled or ruled by chaos, then you'll be no different than the rest of the chaotic ones out there. You become what they call a chaos lord, and this is the importance of true self, true teaching. Do not be misguided by people who are ruled by ego, because your life will become absolute chaos, because you have the power to create and you also have the power to destroy. That is what I really need to stress and what I really need to talk about in the next video. So thank you for watching this, which is effectively the Awakening Part 5. I will be doing another one, and I will get deeper and deeper and deeper and deeper into this philosophy, but just be aware of the potential that you've got to create or destroy. You can be a master magician, or you can be a chaos lord. That is the power that you have. That is the power that the awakened possess. So I'm going to actually leave you at that point, and thank you so much for watching.